Hello everybody, welcome to Deluxe Collectibles, and today I'm going to be discussing some brand new LEGO Ninjago suits that were revealed on the new Ninjago.com website. It's been newly revamped with a ton of brand new features throughout the website, including games, comics, and artwork, most importantly, in my opinion, because this is the stuff I find really interesting. I love going through all of like Ninjago's concept artwork and things like this, and I would kind of compare the pieces in this website to that, and also just promotional artwork as well. But we're going to focus on specifically some of the new suits that were kind of done up for this website and discuss the potential of them being season 16 suits. Now, I've seen a ton of people discuss this already. I'm a little bit late to the party of kind of talking about this, but I still wanted to kind of give my insight on it and talk about something that I haven't heard too many people mentioning, or at least going into great depth on. So I wanted to kind of discuss that specific point later on in the video at the end, but for now, let's just get straight into it here with the suits. We'll be going through each of them individually, giving my thoughts on the designs and kind of like talking about some of the elements of them that could either prove that they're going to be season 16 suits or kind of disprove that theory. So starting off here, we're going to begin with Lloyd here, who honestly I think is my favorite of the bunch because I love the lime green color scheme there matched up with the green there. We've only seen Lloyd kind of experiment with like different tones of green in his suits, but we've never really seen like lime green be so prominent on the suit like this. So I really do like the style change here. And we're going to use Lloyd, since he's the first one here, as a prime example for kind of the posing here of the actual like style of the character. So we can see that they're kind of using the legacy hoods right here, so that could be something that could maybe throw it off of kind of being a season 16 suit because it's not a newly designed hood or anything. We've seen recently, of course, even in Seabound, of course, seeing the scuba suits, those kind of being the brand new suits, and then within the context of the show, their standard sort of outfits are the season 11 suits. So it might be a bit odd if they kind of just switched suits and just kind of did a like the same hood mold but then just changed up the color scheme. It would seem kind of odd. It seems like, of course, it is going to be a new year for Ninjago, so it could just be a completely new like revamp on the suits, and we might not see their season 11 suits being like the primary ones that they consistently wear. But I feel like with this point here, I think that there is definitely potential that maybe this could kind of hint towards them not being the new suits here, because why would they kind of just not come up with a new hood mold here, unless it's just going to be a very general season where they're not going into like a new environment or anything, because of course that was the need for a lot of the new designs. But even stuff like the island, let's say, they got completely new like headbands and hair molds for that sort of like mini season, whatever you want to call it, but they got new stuff for that, so you would think they would kind of upgrade them for the purposes of this new season. So that's something that's kind of like driving me away from thinking these are season 16. And then another thing with these that you'll see as we go on throughout the video is that each ninja is in the exact same pose. Now there are some minor differences, of course, in the actual color scheme of each of them, the faces as well, of course, to match each of the ninja, and then a bit of the torso and the leg details as well. But definitely them being all in the same sort of stock pose that they have them in would also kind of maybe lead me to think like, of course, that could just be the pose that they're going with for this artwork here, and it might not like disprove anything. But I think that that could also kind of lead into like, this is just promotional artwork specifically for Lego.com. So even though I think they look fantastic for all of the outfits, maybe they didn't go into too much depth to kind of give each ninja their own sort of individual pose. So that could also potentially say something about it as well. But let's move on to the next one here, so you can see a new ninja here. And the next one that we'll talk about is Jay right here. And I think he honestly looks really great as well. One of the other ones with the biggest sort of changes color scheme wise, with, as you can see, him using yellow as one of the main sort of color schemes there, and then matched up with the blue as well. And I think that honestly looks really great. Very unique sort of look for Jay. So I really appreciate them doing that and kind of switching it up quite a bit there. So I do like that design quite a bit. And you can see a bit of the torso and the legs, of course, there as well. But another thing I want to talk about with the actual actual pose is that the way they framed it, you can see the ninja kind of covering quite a bit of their torso. So maybe they did that as well so that they wouldn't have to create a fully detailed torso just for specifically the artwork here to promote the website and to be on the website. So that could also potentially mean something. And also each of the ninja just wielding katanas as well. I know that they could just be wielding these specifically for these images here, but of course we only see the ninja typically using different weaponry, so it's kind of odd that they're each wielding the same weapon here, just in different colors. So that could be another thing kind of hinting towards something there of it not being season 16. I feel like a lot of my points are just me saying it's not season 16. I'm trying to be as skeptical as possible, because don't get me wrong, I like all of these suits a lot and I would love to see them be the season 16 suits, but I also don't want to just like be like, oh yeah, these are definitely them, even though they're just like a very minor promotional thing that like a lot of fans might not even end up seeing. It's not like the Ninjago.com website is like the most visited website or that you're going to see it all over the place. Now, a smart thing with these suits though is that, I mean, you can see I'm making a video about this, a ton of other creators as well are talking about this, so it's definitely kind of raised a lot of talk about Ninjago.com. If they had just revamped the website and not included something like this, then there wouldn't be as many people discussing it. So it's definitely a smart sort of marketing strategy on Lego's part, so definitely kudos to them for doing that. But then the next suit that we'll go over here is Zane's. I don't have too much to say about his. It's kind of just not as much of a departure, I would say, as the other ninja were that we've discussed, but definitely a really great looking suit. I still do love it a lot. And then we have Cole up next here, and I think he looks really fantastic as well, but I put Lloyd and Jay to start with because they had the most differences, I felt. But with Cole here, I mean, the color scheme is what we expect from Cole traditionally or like normally nowadays, so I think it obviously does look really great on him, but it's just nothing like too new there. And then we have Nia, who is definitely a really surprising one here, and another factor that could maybe disprove it, of course, with Nia's fate at the end of Seabound. I mean, it's kind of odd that she would be in this style here, just kind of revealed. I'm not saying that Nia isn't going to return in the next season. It's definitely a possibility, but would they really show something like that so soon? Like, I think that obviously in Ninjago, Nia is always going to be a part of the show, whether she's like present in the continuity of it at the moment or not, but in promotional use, you're always going to continue to see Nia, I feel, in the website, on the posts, everything of that sort. I mean, look at how they just announced that, like, basically series I did. I did a video on it where it's like the vlogs, the ninja vlogs, and you have Jay and Nia in those. So you can see Nia is still present in different forms of Ninjago, but just not within the main continuity of the series at the moment. So this could also be something that could just kind of point towards it being just more promotional artwork here and nothing of like actual importance to the actual show. But then the final thing that I want to mention, we've gone through all of the suits now, is that we're missing Kai here. And I think that the important thing to kind of point out here is that I've done several videos in the past kind of talking about theories for season 16, and one of the main ones is kind of who is going to be the main sort of focus of this new season with Nia's departure at the end of Seabound. Of course, the two people arguably with the closest relationship to Nia are of course Kai and Jay, so I discussed kind of the potential of Kai, of it being a Kai focused season or Jay focused season or the both of them. But with this here, maybe this is the minor subtle like sort of hint that we're meant to take away with this, not the actual suits that we're seeing at face value here, but the sort of hidden thing beneath the surface there of that we're not seeing Kai in this style of suit. So maybe these aren't even going to be the new season 16 suits, but maybe it's kind of just hinting towards, hey, why isn't Kai here? Kind of get the community discussing that, and if maybe he is potentially going to be the new focus of that new season. So I definitely think that's something to not really just like shove off, like be like, oh, well, maybe they just didn't do a Kai suit for some reason, because it definitely seems quite odd because Kai is present in other forms on this website. So I think that it definitely is quite interesting to kind of point out that specifically. But I think just kind of to conclude this video here, I believe that these suits might not necessarily, I would say more so that they're not going to be the season 16 suits. Now watch, they're going to wind up being the season 16 suits now that I said they haven't. Either way, I'd be happy honestly, because I think these are really great looking suits. But I'm leaning more towards them just being more so promotional artwork for the Ninjago.com website, but I don't think entirely that they're not trying to hint towards something by using this promotional artwork here. So maybe I'm just digging into it way too deep. I probably am, considering I'm doing a long video here just on some artwork from their website, but still, I think it's fun to talk about stuff like this, and I kind of wanted to offer my own sort of points on this and opinions as well. So I hope you did enjoy. Be sure to let me know your thoughts and opinions on this. I'm really curious to hear all of your theories on what these suits could be. Are they going to be the next season suits? Are they just promotional artwork? Are they hinting towards something for the future of Ninjago? So let me know all of that down below in the comment section. Thanks so much for checking out the video. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like, also subscribe, and just thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I'll see you all next time, and always remember, keep on collecting.